Why? Why? I don't understand. What's up, you internet uber goobers? Mark with Cardivox Academy here. First and foremost, thank you so much for your patience with my absence. I know I was away a little bit. I actually just got back from a sunny vacation in San Diego. It was a lot of fun. Hit the beach, all that stuff that you would expect one to do in San Diego, California. But I'm back. I'm here. And this upcoming month is looking pretty good for filming more videos. So we should be back on our 2 videos per week spree starting first or second week of August. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, my name is Mark. I am a metal vocalist myself in 3 bands. Kardashev is my main gig. Never Breath and Viremia are out there as well. And I'm also a vocal coach specializing in harsh vocals. So all these screaming, guttural, gurgly sounds that you hear, that's kind of what I teach people to do. That's my day-to-day. Now what we do is we take the reaction format here. We make it fun. We break it down. We try to kind of go into detail on what the vocalists are doing or what our best guess is. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. But yeah, we have fun. We try to make it educational. If you enjoy the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We do have a Patreon. If you want to help us make more videos per week and join in on the Discord and have fun game night events and movie nights and listening parties, you can join us there. But today, we are checking out We Butter the Bread with Butter. Now, I did recently, I think it was like maybe a month ago, their cover of Hypa Hypa by Eskimo Callboy. And I remember actually kind of liking that better than the original Eskimo Callboy version almost. And I think part of it is because I love the delivery of these guys. They are super goofy. They're super fun. I love their high vocals. So I'm looking forward to getting into this. Now, this is a funny one because 20 kilometers per hour, which is the song we're going to be focusing on, if my math is correct, which I totally did not Google the conversion for kilometers per hour to miles per hour before this. I think that's pretty slow, 12 something miles per hour, perhaps. So I'm not sure what the vibe is, not sure what the gig is, but let's go ahead. Without further ado, let's jump into it. This is We Butter the Bread with Butter, 20 kilometers per hour. It's always a fun time. Let's check it out. Okay, that sounds like a transition. So already this song is looking super, super fun and super goofy, but the high vocal he did where he was like, not only is that really funny, that's actually a pretty useful vocal exercise, right? So, oftentimes when we're learning metal vocals or any sort of distorted vocalization where we want to be using less of our true chords, right? We want to be using more of our either false chords or the soft palate up here. If you're doing fry, then you're using your true chords a little bit, but you're not necessarily getting so much of that true chord phonation, like the sound of your voice. Hey, hey, right? There's not as much of that behind. Anytime we're trying to lessen that true chord phonation sound, sometimes what'll happen is when we start to articulate, we will have difficulty with those true chords coming in. One of my students right now, actually, just a couple days ago, emailed me and we were talking about that over email. But essentially, like, we'll learn a sound, like let's use a high because that's what I'm seeing here. So just like this, like the student or somebody out there, you in fact, may have this down, yeah. But then when you try to go do vocals, let's say, because I don't know these lyrics because I don't speak German, you might try to say like, I like pizza, right? So instead of going, yeah, I like pizza, which is nice and balanced, not a lot of true chord sound in there, your brain, your subconscious might go, yeah, I like pizza, right? Which kind of has a cool sound to it, actually, especially if you're doing black metal. But point is, one way that we can slowly work our brain, slowly help our brain understand that, we don't need to use these true chords like we do in our normal speaking and singing voice, is to find the scream that you know, right? So just the open tone, which is where we all start with, just like an open tone. Yeah. And then just add a syllable on there. and then slowly start adding a little bit more. And then you can articulate very easily. Right, and it's not bad. Let's go back a little bit, though. I'm sure there's more we're going to be able to talk about, and I do have the tendency to digress. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead, go back. This video is already so much fun. Let's check it out. Okay, this sounds like another transition. So I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, but this is actually a pick from my patrons. So every month our patrons get to pick which video I react to. They get to pick a video, they all nominate and they all vote, and they always pick the wackiest stuff. You know? And one thing I like about these guys is that they're like super fun and tongue-in-cheek and goofy, but at the same time, the quality of the music is so good that you can take it seriously enough to have fun listening to it, right? So a couple things I'm hearing. The main thing I'm hearing here, well, there are a couple things we can talk about, but the first is I really like how he's accessing that lower chesty space, right? He's got like more of a low, like roar vocal going on. Like he's got a little bit of that going on. I'll have to listen to, I'm sure he's going to do it some more. I'll have to listen to it to kind of get a little bit more of a sound match on that. But I really like the way he's accessing his lower voice. Now, this video, because they're playing it up and because they're being goofy, right, we can't really look at their mouth shape or their posture as an indicator for what they're doing. So we have to lead purely by sound, right? And that's kind of where getting a somewhat trained ear comes in and can be very helpful. So one of the reasons I like it is because it doesn't sound like he's pulling everything down, right? It doesn't sound like he's trying to shove his voice down into his throat to get low. That's a really common mistake with people who are trying to do lower tones, lower vocals of any variety, false chord, fry, doesn't matter, right? What they'll do is they'll take their voice and they'll try to just shove it down into their neck, right? And that, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I'm not here to lie, that can produce some pretty dope sounds, right? But the problem is, number one, it's a really easy way to strain your vocal muscles. Even if we don't hurt the chords themselves, you can still strain oftentimes when we talk about vocal damage or anything like that, we think there's only one type of problem that can go on, but there's a slew, right? And even if your vocal folds are nice and in a great posture, you can still run into doing, muscle strain. I don't know about damage per se. Like, I guess you could tear a muscle, but I know you can definitely strain them. I've had that experience in the past when I was first getting started. So what do we do then, right? If we're not taking our voice and shoving it down in our throat, right? No, this is Patrick. Where are we placing it? Well, forward and down. Hey, right? Because these sounds are so heavily textured, we don't have to necessarily get the pitch of our voice low. We have to create more resonant space. I talk about this all the time in my videos because it's a fundamental. It's one of the things you pretty much have to learn if you want to be able to do metal vocals for a long time successfully without a lot of pain, right? If you want to have a really long career, this is really important. So if I take this voice here, and I put texture through it, that sounds really, really low. But if I pull it back and I put my pitch through it, I'm not actually working that hard to get there. Right, so that's pretty easy. I also like this kind of fun, like hype man voice he's doing. Hey, da 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 da, ba da 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 da. Right? That's actually a really good exercise too. Like getting this sound down. Hey. Like that. Ooh, my voice cracked. That's a really good way to get the idea of vocal placement down, right? Oftentimes when we're doing these vocals, we don't want to be again, pushing down or holding everything back. Hey, 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 nay, nay, nay. We want to be pointing up and forward. So anyways, just some observations. Let's go back and listen a little bit more. Ooh. Nice. Nice. Okay, so before I did this video, I can't remember who, but somebody was telling me like, yo, there's like a Crazy Frog thing. And so Crazy Frog, if you're not familiar, I think it was a Swedish thing. I think it was created in Sweden. I don't know. But he's like this little mascot that makes like annoying noises. And when somebody told me that, I didn't really know what they meant. They were like, yo, you should listen for this Crazy Frog sound. But he used to do the song ring ding 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 ding, and I don't why would you put that in there? It didn't sound bad. It was funny and goofy and totally in line with the song, but like, I would love to have been in the room when they're tracking these vocals and they're like, you know what this needs? This needs Crazy Frog sounds. That's what this, like, what? Also, I really liked that vocal he did as the breakdown was leading in. And the way he was lifting it up, that was really cool. Let's see if we can hear that a little bit again. Let's go back a little farther. Yeah. Now that's interesting that we're hearing true chord phonation come in as he lifts the sound, right? That kind of makes me think that either he's building this on more of a fry tone or he's transitioning to more of a true chord tone, either intentionally or because maybe it's a little bit harder for him to control at the top. When we hear stuff like this, it's not necessarily an indicator that they're doing it wrong per se, but sometimes if you're not choosing to have that happen, it could be an indicator that there's a little bit more coordination work that you could do. But again, I mean, the great thing about metal vocals is as long as you're safe and you sound cool, it doesn't really matter. Like, do whatever you want. As long as you're safe and it sounds cool. So I'm not trying to say he's doing it wrong, but it's interesting that it's coming up. I love that tone he's got like at the bottom, that like that sounds really, really cool to me. And then I love the production on the guitars. It's like super surgical. It's almost like a light switch. On, off, on, off, on, off. Really, really cool in this breakdown kind of coming up here. Why? I don't understand. Nice. Whoa! I was going to pause it to talk about his highs, and then he just throws that. So this song doesn't have nearly as much like focus on high vocals as the Hypa Hypa version, or the version of Hypa Hypa they did. But this is actually a really good space to talk about high vocals. So one thing I like about the sound of his highs is they're very relaxed and very released, right? Oftentimes when we're trying to do high vocals, we'll squeeze everything, right? The same way as when you're trying to sing a high note, like if you're trying to sing up high and you have this like, hey, that really tight sound. The answer to that is, among other things, right? Breath support's important in every resonance placement and all that. It's not like there's just one answer, but usually the place you start is with relaxation. Hey, oh, right? Hitting slightly higher notes. With our high vocals, we also want to be open and relaxed so we can release the sound. We can release those sounds out very, very easily, right? One thing, and it's so crazy because he literally did kind of what I was thinking about. But one thing that you can do to kind of help your vocals, or I guess I should say check in on how relaxed your vocals are, because sometimes it can be hard to feel, right? Because there's so much vibration going around, which we should be feeling almost entirely on our soft palate up here, not down here, right? Is to kind of do something kind of like fast and repetitious. The old Melissa Cross's Poptica, Paptica, Peeptica, Poptica, or Monola, Mainly, Meanly, Monolo, like she did that a lot. That's a really good example. And I don't know what he said here, because again, I don't speak German, but that was like pretty much what I was thinking about. And it's really impressive how fast he went too. Yeah, here comes. I wish I knew what he was saying. Very cool. Super sick. I love that. I love those quick staccato highs. Super clean, super well placed. Perfection. That was sick. Even with that weird crazy frog sound that I can't say I fully understand, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's just like, why? I don't know. I would love to hang out with these dudes because I would love to understand why they make some of these goofy choices. Not because they're bad, but because they're just fascinating to me. Like, there's no way I could pull this off. Like, if I tried to do a music video like this, I could not deliver it well. But for some reason, these guys make it work. Anyway, so I think my main takeaway from that, the thing that I really, really enjoyed was how much relaxation and how much control over resonance placement I heard, right? That's so much of it. I'm hearing so much of like a relaxed, hey, right? Or a, even on his more like hype man voice, nay, right? Just really relaxed. I think I said this in the Eskimo Callboy video, but a lot of what we're hearing right here is just really good control of fundamentals. Really good control of fundamentals. And this is proof that fundamentals can take you a really long way. Like, I know we're all out here trying to do our like triple backflip, sow cow, whistle scream, Mach 5 eject shots, but and you should go for those. I'm not discouraging that. But the fundamentals are so key, and they can take you so much farther than one or two niche screams ever really will. Although if you can add them to your toolbox, you absolutely should, because it's dope. Anyway, I could ramble on forever, but I just looked at the audio recording and we're just past 20 minutes. After I edit it down, it'll probably be a little bit less. But anyways, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. Awesome pick from my patrons. I greatly appreciate y'all giving me these crazy curveballs. Again, if you want to nominate and vote on one song a month, feel free to check us out on Patreon. The link is below. Also, if you're interested in lessons, if you want to learn how to and along with, you know, some of your favorite songs or in your band or anything like that, hit me up, email in the description below. That's about all I can think to say now. So as always, many thanks, much love. I'm out.